What's going on, guys? So it's Sunday. I'm out on a long drive this morning, this afternoon. Actually, no, it's still morning for me. So Sunday is, everybody kind of looks at Sunday as a rest day. Right? I earned this, it's the weekend. I had a long week, and I deserve a rest. But on the flip side, almost everybody that you talk to will tell you that, number one, they'd like to lose weight, they'd like to look better, they'd like to feel better, they'd like to exercise more, they'd like to be healthier than they are already. Yet, we look for every opportunity to rest. Like, we've done so much that we deserve this long rest. It's the weekend, I worked all week, I want some me time. In the winter and the fall, the big thing is football, right? How many guys sit in front of a TV from morning till night watching football, getting drunk, eating until you have to unbuckle your pants, and just on and on and on. And again, on the flip side, everybody says, well, I want this, I want to look better, I want to feel better, I want to work out, I should work out, I need to lose weight, I want to be healthy. But very few people, unfortunately, are willing to work for it, to put in the work, because it takes effort. And there's no getting around that. You have to work for it, like anything in life. And it's amazing how people will find the time, the energy, when it comes to going to make a buck. And we have to make money to live. That's a fact. You can't live without money. That's a cold, hard fact. And most people have to work for their money, right? We have that faction, and that faction seems to be growing. More and more people that are just leeches, that leech off the government, but that's a subject for another video. But in general, most people have to work for what they need, for what they want. And people will put all their time and energy into working. And then they'll make the money and they'll blow it on cars and, or whatever their pastime is, traveling, and they'll forsake their health in order to do all these other things. The last thing on their mind is their health, because when you work at your health, you kind of have to restrict yourself on the extravagances, right? You can't eat and drink to your heart's content until you're sick to your stomach. You can't do things like that. And people right away look at that as deprivation. Well, what do you mean I can't eat what I want when I want? I can't go out drinking when I want. I can't drink as much as I want. I can't drink until I pass out. I earn that. I'm depriving myself if I don't do that. It's just a twisted sense of reality. It's a twisted way to look at things. You take the one thing, the most precious commodity on earth, which is your health, and you look at working at that as depriving yourself or putting yourself out. But I know people that buy season football tickets for hundreds or probably now I don't even know what they go for. A lot of money, let's just say that. And they're willing to work and get the money to go do that, and then spend their time, like I said, every weekend, just wasting time watching this mind rot that at the end of the day means nothing. And you're sitting and rooting for people to do well, and these athletes that are getting paid hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, and you're rooting for them to do well. I want to see him win. I'm going to spend my time getting drunk today so I could sit and watch this guy do it. Meanwhile, you're getting sicker and fatter by the day, by the hour. And if you can't do that, if you can't sit and watch these people and root them on and, ruin your body, it's somehow you have this sense of deprivation. I'm being deprived. When in reality, what you're doing is you're ruining your mind, you're ruining your body, and you're just throwing your health away. Now, that's not to say you can't do things like that, but if you're doing it at the expense of your health, if you're doing these things in place of or instead of taking care of your health, taking care of your body, it's a twisted sense of reality. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't add up. But to people it does, because it's ingrained in them that, everything in life, enjoyment in life and living a full life and living your best life comes down to doing these things. And you'll do them at any cost. And again, most of the time it comes down to the cost. The ultimate cost is your health. The ultimate cost is going to be your health. And people just aren't willing to put the work in for that. They'll go to any length to buy a new car, to buy a jet ski, to go on a vacation, whatever, to spend their weekends in bars and clubs, and because in their mind that's enjoying life, that's living life to its fullest. When in reality, living life to its fullest is working on yourself, right? We should all be working harder on ourselves than we are on our jobs. That's the reality. That's what it should be. Because your body and your mind and your health is number one. There's nothing else more valuable in life. But people don't look at it that way. So I'm gonna flip this around, guys. I'm on a long drive this morning, so right now we're in New Jersey on the Garden State Parkway, driving south. So yeah, the other excuse, a lot of people use, everybody heard the term dad bod. I had a dad bod. And that's, people will laugh at that. And I don't think it's funny at all. I think it's pretty sad. Because then your excuse is, well, I'm putting my health on the back burner because I have kids. And what is it exactly that you're doing with your kids that you have to put your health on the back burner, that your health has to take a back seat? In reality, what should be happening is your health should be number one because you have kids. They should be the reason that you're healthy, the reason that you're doing the right thing by yourself. Because you have to take care of yourself in order to you have a responsibility to those kids. If you have a family, you have a responsibility to the family. To take care of them, to be there for them. And when you're overweight and sick and lazy, you're shirking your responsibilities. I mean, if you look at the time that people spend, look at screen time on social media, look at watch time on Netflix, how much time people spend in clubs, bars. It's amazing. And then when you talk to people about the time it takes to go to a park or go to a gym and work out for 45 minutes or an hour, every excuse in the world not to be able to do it. Every excuse people will find not to be able to put the effort into themselves. But offer somebody a free football ticket, tell them, hey, I'm having a party at my house, I'm having barbecue at my house, come on over, free food, free beer. All of a sudden, everybody's calendar frees right up. Absolutely right, Joey. You got to be active. We all have to be active. And that's what we're talking about this morning, how people are unwilling to be active. People are unwilling to put the work in. They'll tell you that they want X, Y, and Z. They tell you that they want to be healthy. They tell you that they want to look good. They tell you that they want to lose weight. And then the minute you tell them, well, this is what you have to do to get it, then the excuses start. Then that indignation of, I'm depriving myself. Well, I wanted to do this. I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to take care of my health because I have to go do this. And this always consists of some type of leisure activity. And in today's day and age, it's almost always going to involve eating. We sit and eat from the minute we wake up till the minute we go to bed. It's all about the dopamine hit. We get the dopamine hit from social media. We get the dopamine hit from the food. All of these leisure activities that we do. And it's just a constant dose of dopamine. And people, the other thing too, is people just love to overcomplicate it. They'll find a way to do everything else in life that they want to do. But when it comes to putting in the work, putting in the effort to getting healthy, staying healthy, being healthy, all of a sudden everything's too expensive. It costs so much to buy healthy food. I can't afford a gym membership. How am I going to get to the gym every day? And where there's a will, there's a way. And people just aren't willing to find the way when it comes to the important stuff, meaning your health. People get very resourceful when it comes to other things. They find time, they find the funds to do what they want to do. And they'll do it no matter what it costs. Time-wise, money-wise. It's amazing how resourceful people get when they really want something. And they just refuse to realize the importance of their health. They always think that they can just put it off and put it off. Well, I'm okay now, and this is, you can say it's more so with young people, but even people as they get older, it's easy today to look at other people and just say, well, I'm not as bad as that guy. I'm not as bad as her. I'm not as bad as him. If I get that bad, then I'll start making changes. But right now, I'm okay. I'm holding out. I'm not 300 pounds yet. I'm only 275. And if you go back years and years ago, to find a 300-pound person, you really had to look. And when you did, you were amazed. 300 pounds was a gargantuan person. Today, 300-pound people are everywhere. Everywhere. And I'm not making that up, and I'm not trying to be mean, and I'm not trying to demean people. It's a fact. It's a fact. Every place you go, see women that are 5 foot tall, 5 foot nothing, pushing 300 and 400 pounds. It's a common sight today, and it's accepted. Mag, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. There are a lot of crazies on the road. Yeah, Joe. Well, that's another point. That's another great point. You know, you talk about supplements, but that's what it goes down to. You're not willing to do the work, but you'll spend all of your time, money, and effort into trying to figure out a hack or a shortcut. I'll take this drug, I'll take this pill, I'll take this supplement, as long as it'll make me lose weight. And really, to be honest, it's the vanity point. People aren't, I use the term, people say they want to get healthy, and a lot of people do say that, but the vast majority of people, all they're worried about is losing the weight, because they equate losing weight with, I can put a dress on, I can just, as long as I can look good, as long as I can present myself as looking good, not being overweight, that's good enough for me. You have these women that it's just, when they get dressed up, they squeeze themselves into these Spanx and these body shapers just so they can look good for the night and hold everything in, and then when they get home, they pop out of it like a can of Pillsbury muffins with biscuits. So it's all about the perception. And they're willing, again, it goes back to what I said earlier, rather than put the work in, they'll tell you it's expensive to eat healthy, which is a crock of bullshit. They'll tell you they don't have time to do this. They tell you they don't have time to do the exercise and do what it takes to get healthy and lose the weight. But they'll always find the money. They'll find the funds to buy these supplements, to pay $1,500 a month for a drug that they're going to inject into their body, and comes with all sorts of adverse side effects. But they don't care about that, because all they're worried about is the number on the scale dropping, fitting into that dress, fitting into that suit. And something's got to give, guys. Something's really got to give, because, it's just, you can't paint everybody with a broad brush and just say that everybody's lazy. It's a matter of priorities. Because, again, the things that you find to be a priority, you'll always find a way to do or get done. Always. And obviously health is not a priority. It's money, it's status. And again, people will spend their time chasing these other things, chasing material goods, and they always do it at the expense of their health. The health goes on the back burner. I would do it, but I work all the time. I would do it, but I need money to pay this off. Well, if you streamlined your life and got your priorities in order, You could live with a little less money and be 100 times healthier and 1,000 times happier. You know, and the people with the kids, you know, getting back to the kids situation, people that use the kids as an excuse. I have the dad bod, I'd be in shape if I didn't have the kids, if I didn't have to do this, I didn't have to do that, if I didn't have this responsibility. Your number one responsibility is to yourself. Because if you're no good to yourself, you're no good to anybody else. And if you, especially if you bring kids into the world, you have a responsibility now. You owe those kids, whether you think so or not. For the rest of their lives, for the rest of your life, you owe those kids. Because you brought them in. And you should be the example. You should always be the example. And your legacy to your kids shouldn't be growing up 300 pounds. You should instill the right values in the kids, and they should grow up healthy as a result of what you do. Because like we always say, kids are going to do what you do. Kids aren't going to do what you say so much. It's always going to be what you do. And kids can spot a hypocrite a mile away. A mile away. So if you're telling your kids one thing and living your life another way, they see that. They see that, and they're going to grow up, and it's always going to be on their mind. And they're going to look back. We put our kids, you know, we make them somebody else's responsibility. School, well, the school should teach them, the teacher should teach them. If they play sports, the coach is supposed to teach them. No, you're supposed to teach them. You. First and foremost, it's you. You're the example. You're the teacher. And if you're not willing to put the time into teaching yourself, what are you going to do for those kids? What are you going to do for anybody else? You're useless. You're absolutely useless. You're failing yourself. And that's your choice. That's your prerogative. If you want to fail yourself, and you could look yourself in the mirror every day and go on with your life, then go ahead and do it. But if you bring kids into this world and you fail them, you're a failure. That's the reality. And in today's day and age, it's not about I didn't know how to do it, I didn't know, you know, information is out there for everybody. It's so readily available. I can go on YouTube right now and look up a video on how to do fucking brain surgery. And in the next step, I'll have somebody tell me, you know, they didn't know that eating donuts was bad for your health. People got to take initiative. People really have to take some initiative, especially when it comes to themselves and their families, their responsibilities. Playing ignorant, it's not a strategy anymore. It's really not. You know, maybe in years ago, when information wasn't as readily available, you could kind of use that to a degree. But in today's day and age, with all the information, now granted, there's so much information in it, you do have to be careful what you believe and what you listen to. But that's where your reasoning comes in. And you have to be willing to do things. You have to be your own experiment. You know, in my case, I looked at my life, I looked at how I was living, what I was eating, my habits, and I knew it was wrong. So that was my starting point. I'm getting fucked up. So what I'm doing is wrong. I have to change what I'm doing. What should I do? Well, let me start doing some research. Let me try this. Doesn't seem to be working. All right, let me try this. I'm my own experiment. I'm my own guinea pig, and you'll find what works for you. And really the easiest way to go about it is you start with the fundamentals. Start with the fundamentals when it comes to eating whole food. You eat whole food as close as you can get to whole food, non-processed food. Exercise, well, I don't have a gym membership. I don't know how to use that machine. I don't know what that exercise does. You can do a push-up. You can do a squat. You can do a burpee right in your living room. Start with that to get yourself going and branch off from there. And you learn as time goes on. But you really have to self-evaluate. You have to look at yourself in the mirror, get a pen and paper. Where am I at right now? Am I diabetic? Am I overweight? Can I tie my own shoes? Can I even see my feet if I look down? Can I do a couple of push-ups? Can I do a pull-up? Can I go up a flight of stairs without being winded? Can I carry my groceries? Can I carry my kids? And if the answer is no, well, to this point, you've fucked up. You've seriously fucked up, and you got to start changing. And the answer is I can't change because I don't know what to do. I don't know how to change. The answer is I'll do anything to change. You're exactly right, Ronan. It doesn't matter how many hours a day you work. It's not an excuse. You can find the time. Just like we said, if it's a priority, you'll always find a way. People always find the time and are willing to put in the effort for the things that they prioritize, for the things that they see as a priority. And generally speaking, today, our priorities are totally flipped. There you go, Joe. Whatever it takes. Put the music, put the Rocky music, put it on a loop. Play it over and over. Whatever it takes to get you moving. Rocky music 24/7 in your car, on your phone, everywhere. But I always say, you know, people are addicted to convenience, consumption, and comfort. You want to be comfortable. You want everything to be convenient. And you got to stay comfortable. Nobody wants to be out of their comfort zone. Ever. For any length of time. Because it goes back to the deprivation. Well, if I'm not comfortable, it means I'm depriving myself of something. You mean I have to get up early in the morning and exercise? Well, then I can't sleep in. I'm depriving myself. You mean I have to fast and not eat 15 hours a day? Well, then I'm depriving myself. Because I like to eat. You mean I have to go and do push-ups until I sweat and my heart rate's up? And well, that's not comfortable. I'm depriving myself because I'm not being comfortable. I can't eat and drink whatever, whenever I want. But I like consumption. I like to eat and drink whenever I want. And if I don't do that, and I should be able to do it because I deserve it, because I earned it. But if I don't, I'm depriving myself. And it's funny too how people will use ignorance as an excuse. Well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know what to eat. I don't know exactly what I'm doing when it comes to nutrition. But when you give them suggestions, all of a sudden everybody becomes a food scientist and a registered dietitian or nutritionist. Right? Well, you want to eat whole foods. Eat some meat, some fish, some eggs. Well, you know, red meat is going to give you a heart attack. You can't eat eggs because there's cholesterol. I can't eat fat because it's going to clog my arteries. Well, have you been eating that stuff? You know, you're sitting at 300, 350 pounds. Is that what your diet consists of right now? No. No, I'm drinking booze, eating pizza, eating fast food, eating cookies, eating chips. And then they'll flip it around and tell you, well, I can't have salt because my doctor says I'll have a heart attack. I can't use butter because that clogs your arteries. That's going to kill me. But you're slowly eating yourself to death with the things that you do eat. It's like death by 1,000 razor blades. And people are more than willing to do it because it feels good. For no other reason. Because they refuse to be uncomfortable. No matter what price they have to pay. And in this case, you're paying with your life. And that's not an overstatement. You're literally paying with your life. You're a slave. You're an absolute slave to the medical system, to your doctor, to the pharmaceutical companies. You're their bitch. You live for them. And you're willing to do it. You're more than willing to do it. And you revere these doctors that keep you coming back time and time again. And they do nothing for you. They do absolutely nothing for you. They laugh at you. You're a joke to them. Your existence means nothing. You're a dollar sign to them. That's all you are. Because you can't stop eating cookies. And you talk about it so expensive to eat healthy. You'll spend money on drugs, diabetic supplies, prick your finger every morning, and then you'll kid yourself and say, I'm going on a diet, and you start eating Cheerios with skim milk with a banana and telling yourself you're getting healthy, and you go back to your doctor. Triglycerides are through the roof, blood sugar through the roof, insulin levels through the roof, inflammation throughout your body, you're fucking your kidneys, you're fucking your liver, and they laugh at you. They give you pills, they send you home and they tell you, try and lose some weight, and you just keep giving them your money. And then you go to Applebee's or, one of these restaurants, and you order a big greasy cheeseburger with fries and the bloomin' onions, and you get a Diet Coke because you want to be healthy. They're laughing at you. The food companies are laughing at you. They tell you, these people are telling you, we purposely make our food addictive because we want you to keep eating it. We want you to not be able to stop eating this shit. And it's not even food. There's zero nutritional value in it. And they push it on your kids, and they put cartoon characters on the boxes. And the juices, and the cereals, and the candies, and the sugar. And if you don't give it to your kids, people ridicule you. Look at what you do to your kids. You're depriving your kids. How could you not give this shit to your kids? And you fall for it. You're worried about what other people think. Food companies spend billions and billions and billions on research. What can we put in this stuff? How can we make this so people can't not eat it? And that's a fact. That's a fact. You can look it up yourself. You can research it. It's a fact. They're doing it, and they're laughing at it, and you do it. Oh my God, this is so good. Oh my God, I can't drink my coffee without the creamer and the sugar. I've had people tell me there's no way, and adults, there's no way I could drink a cup of coffee black without having my creamer and having my sugar or having my syrup in it. And you go to any Starbucks, any coffee shop, every single morning, every single solitary morning, lines, people don't even get out of their cars, right? The drive-through windows around the building every single morning. And people ordering these, I have to stop for my coffee. You're not getting coffee. What you're getting is a milkshake with a shot of coffee in it. You're getting this sugar concoction, which is 500 or 600 calories every morning with a splash of coffee in it. And they're laughing at you. You're paying $7 for a cup of sugar. And people talk about not having time to dedicate to their health, but they have time to to sit on a drive-through line at Starbucks, at McDonald's for 10, 15, 20 minutes because it's a priority. Exactly right, Box. That was a point that I made earlier, that these are the same people that'll tell you that eggs have too much cholesterol, meat's gonna give you a heart attack, salt's gonna give you a heart attack. But they'll sit online and they'll tell you it's so expensive. And it's just, that's a statement that they make out of sheer ignorance. Because they've never tried to eat healthy. They don't know what it means to eat healthy. They haven't put the effort into trying, to doing some food prep, to buying whole food. But they'll sit online at Starbucks and get their coffee milkshakes for $7 every morning and tell you how good it is, and oh my God, you have to taste this. And they'll spend the money on that. They'll spend the time on that. And they won't blink an eye. I just spent 15 minutes wasting my time sitting in my car outside this building so they can give me a cup of sugar for $7. But I didn't have 15 minutes to do a few sets of push-ups and have a couple of eggs for breakfast. What does it take to make an egg? 3 minutes? It's all priorities, folks. It's all comes down to priorities. People ask me all the time, can you build muscle with calisthenics? If I do push-ups every day, will I build muscle? How about this? Do the push-ups. I can guarantee this. This I can guarantee. If you don't do push-ups, you're certainly not going to build muscle. You're going to atrophy. You're going to go the other way. You're going to lose muscle. So why not try? Why not say, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to see let's see where I land in a month. If I take the time to do 100 push-ups a day for 30 days, if I dedicate my time doing that, how about I take the time that I allot to sit on the Starbucks drive-through line, use that time for 30 days to do push-ups and see if I build some muscle, see if I feel stronger, see if I feel better. All priorities, folks. What do you want to do? Do you really want to be healthy, or do you want to just talk about it? Most people just want to talk about it. I want to start working out. I want to lose weight. I want to be healthy. But, and then the excuses come. And then when people get together, they have these little pity parties. And they like to convince each other and be enablers. Yeah, I know you're right. It is hard, isn't it? Isn't it so hard to find the time to exercise? Isn't it really expensive to eat healthy? And they just want people to affirm their bullshit. And it makes them feel better for a few minutes. And it gives them some justification. See, this guy agrees with me, so I must be right. It must really be expensive. Look at healthcare. You want to talk expensive? Look at healthcare costs. Look at how expensive it is to be sick. not only from a financial standpoint, from a mental standpoint, from a physical standpoint. You want your body to constantly be inflamed, not be able to do just day-to-day tasks, sit down on a toilet bowl, carry your groceries, walk up a flight of steps. You're okay doing that, and you'll make excuses for it. Well, you know, I'm 40 now, so I'm supposed to be feeling this way. I'm 50 now, so I'm not supposed to have any muscle on my body. I'm supposed to be 40% body fat, and I'm supposed to have blood pressure. Well, you know, my parents had high blood pressure, and they were type 2 diabetic, so nothing I can do about it. I just have to resign myself to the fact that it's going to happen to me. And then we use the sickness as the excuse. Now when the sickness finally sets in, that's the excuse. Well, my doctor told me not to exercise because, you know, my heart can't take it. Your heart's, you didn't eat right, and you abused your body. And now some asshole doctor is telling you, don't use your body, because if you use your body, I think I just left the building there for a minute, folks. I think I hit a dead spot. I think I'm back. If anybody's there in the chat, can you just let me know if I'm back live again and you can hear me okay? So I was talking about the cost of being sick, not only from a financial standpoint, but a mental standpoint, a physical standpoint. How sickness becomes the excuse at some point, right? You had every excuse leading up to it. I'm not as bad as that guy. I'll start when I hit 300 pounds. Look at it. Look at the size of that guy. I'm not that bad. I still feel okay. I would exercise, but I just don't have the time. You know, I got kids. I have kids, so it's tough with the kids. And all you're doing is you're piling on and piling on, and the sickness is going to come at some point. When is it going to come? Who knows? I mean, it's different for everybody. It may take me 10 years, it may take you 15, but it's going to come. It's going to come at some point. You're going to pay that price. And then they got you. It's like, you know, it's like deep sea fishing, right? They have that hook out there in the water, and then once you get sick, boom, they hook you, and for the rest of your life, they'll tell you, that's it. The only thing you can do is keep coming back to us, take our pills, take our medicines. Whatever you do, don't eat red meat. We'll do what we can for you. We'll be here with the pills for you. Don't worry about it. Come back every 3 months. We'll resupply you. And then you spend the rest of your life going back and forth. And you're all too happy to do it. All too happy to do it. You talk about what a great doctor you have because he gives you pills. You know, my doctor's really good. You know, you can tell because it takes a couple of months to get an appointment with my doctor. That's how good he is. If your doctor was so good, how come he's not curing you? How come every time you go for another visit, he's adding on another pill, giving you a stronger pill? My contention is that a really good doctor is going to prevent you from taking pills, going to stop you from taking pills. Even if you need a pill initially, they'll teach you how to get off pills. You just do what you're told. Blind faith. You have blind faith in these people. You'll do what they say. You'll take their pills. You'll take their medicine willingly, happily, and go on with your shitty lifestyle. Where's the sense in that? Where's the sense in any of that? At what point do you say, there's got to be something different? I shouldn't be living like this. I shouldn't look over at my bedstand and see 6 bottles of pills, have insulin in my refrigerator. Tooling around the supermarket in an electric cart. Buying all your shitty processed food, junk food, loaded with fat, sugar, made out of wheat. Buying Fruit Loops for your kids, juice, soda, frozen food, frozen pizza, macaroni and cheese, and you just keep ramming that down your kids' throats. But then when you're on the road, you really give them a treat. You bring them to McDonald's for a Happy Meal. Nice big cup of soda, some GMO French fries, fake chicken nuggets soaked in oil. A little cup of sugar sauce to dip them in. At what point do you look around and say, this isn't normal. This isn't what it's supposed to be. You know, do you at least not get curious? I mean, look at a picture of any gathering of people from back in the 60s, the 70s. You're hard pressed to find somebody overweight. You're hard pressed to find fat people. Now you take a picture of any gathering of people, you're hard pressed to find somebody that's in shape, that looks fit. How did that script get switched? Well, your doctor's going to just tell you it's genetics. The medical system is going to tell you it's genetics, and you believe it. You believe it. You're not even curious. You're not even willing to research it yourself. You have blind, again, it goes back to the blind faith. You just listen to them. You do what they say. They take your money. You do what they say. You get sicker. You get fatter. You pass it on to your kids willingly. You just keep doing it. And anybody who questions it is some type of conspiracy theorist, doesn't know what they're talking about. Well, you know more than a doctor. You're just an asshole with a YouTube channel and a cell phone, and you know more than a doctor? Well, if hundreds of millions of people just keep getting sicker and fatter, how much do the doctors actually know? What do they really know? They know how to make money. They know how to keep you hooked. They know how to make a customer for life. They're business people, folks. They're business people. And that's reality. It's not conspiracy theories. They're business people. Businesses are in business to make money. Getting you healthy does not make these people money. Their main concern is the profit margin. There's no profit in healthy people. Zero. They gain your trust, they gain your confidence, and you give it to them. You willingly give it. You don't question them. You're a consenting adult. You don't go into a doctor's office and say, why am I taking the same pills for 10, 15 years and nothing? You don't have sense enough to go in and ask questions. And if you do, you take everything they say at face value. You don't question it further. You don't do your own research. Where's the sense in that? Where is the sense in any of that? It's almost like people just enjoy playing a victim. It's my genetics, it's my destiny, I can't do it, I don't know how to do it. And what are you doing? What are you doing? When you have kids, you set the example, and you make a whole new generation of victims. Teach your kids that it's okay to be mediocre. Watching a doctor the other day on social media, and he was talking about how convenient it was for people to take these weight loss drugs, these diabetes drugs, the Wegovy, the Ozempic. And of course, you know, he's pushing a narrative that it's safe, it's the best way to go, quick and easy way to lose weight. Most people are going to tolerate it well with no side effect. And then he went on to mention 3 or 4 side effects and said, well, don't worry. If you become constipated, we can give you a pill for that. If you experience this, we can give you a pill for that. So again, $1,500 a month for this injection, and it's perfectly safe. But if it's not perfectly safe, we'll give you more pills. Because our answer to everything is to give drugs. That's all we know. You know it's 7. No shortcuts. No shortcuts. You know that. You know that. You don't take shortcuts. You're out there working. And it's so much more satisfying when you do the work. Now I'll go back to what I said before. It's you know, you have to have that willingness to put the work in, to do the research. Like I said, people are always asking, can I build muscle with calisthenics? Well, try it. How about you try it? I promise you, you're never going to build muscle without doing calisthenics. Can you build muscle with? Well, let's try it and see. Why don't you dedicate to 30 days or 60 days and do the work? All that time you spend looking for the shortcuts, all that time you spend trying to come up with the money for the $1,500 a month for weight loss drugs, all the time you spend sitting in front of a TV screen watching Netflix, get on your floor and do some push-ups. Stand up and squat down and squat up. Do some squats, body weight squats. 100 a day. Dedicate the time and see what it does to your body. But I promise you, if you don't do it, you're not going to build an ounce of muscle. And people will argue the fact. No, you can't do it. You can't build muscle. You have to go to a gym, you have to lift weights, heavy weights. And they'll fight tooth and nail to prove, without ever spending 1 minute of their time actually doing it. But they'll go to a doctor and have a doctor tell them that you have to take this pill for the rest of your life. And they won't question it. Okay, I'll take my pill. Not, why should I take the pill? Not, what are the adverse side effects of this pill? Is there a way I can get around taking the pill? What should I do to avoid taking the pill? They won't argue with these clowns. But if somebody tells you to eat some eggs, do some push-ups, all of a sudden you're an exercise physiologist and a food nutrition and a food researcher. And people get this sick sense of security when they take drugs, when they take these pills, as if it's going to protect them from something. And really all these drugs are doing is prolonging the misery. They're not improving your life, not one bit. They're prolonging the misery. You have some type of symptom because you have a serious ailment, and all these pills are doing are masking the symptoms as a reason that you're getting from the ailment. You're not fixing the ailment. You're just hiding the symptom. It's like you're stuffing it away in a closet. And at some point, that closet's going to fill up and that door's going to burst. The closet can only hold so much shit. But you won't argue with the doctor. You won't question the doctor. Tell a guy to eat, some vegetables and a piece of steak, and he'll give you 100 reasons to Sunday how it's, how dangerous it is. But for $1,500 a month, people are online. The pharmaceutical companies can't make enough of these drugs, these weight loss injections, at $1,500 a month. They're doing everything they can to keep up with the demand. And they convince you that it's perfectly safe. It's some kind of pixie dust. Stick this needle in your ass, you're going to get skinny and you're going to go on with your life and live happily ever after. Eat a piece of steak and do some push-ups. Oh my God, are you trying to kill me? Why would you tell me to do that? Don't you know steak is going to clog your arteries? Nobody wants to be uncomfortable. Nobody wants to spend their time on the most valuable asset in the world, your health. Tell somebody to spend 30 minutes a day dedicated to their health, and they're so put upon. You expect me to spend a half hour? Where am I going to find a half hour? And that same person's on Instagram for 2 hours. That same person's on Netflix. That same guy is in front of the TV watching a 3-hour baseball game. Same person is sitting in a bar on a Friday or Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, watching sports. "30 minutes of exercise. Can't do it. Can't find the time. Wish I could. I would if I could." Guys, you need a little more inspiration and workout. Check out my friend Seven Fitness. Check out his channel. He's out there in a park with a jump rope doing burpees. Ripped up, and he's all ripped up. Has his son out there with him doing it right, setting the example. Setting the example for his son. He's got his son out in the fresh air. He's exercising. His son's watching him do it. His son joins in with him. You leave your kids with the knowledge of how to be healthy. It's better than leaving them $100 million in the bank. You can't put a price on that. guys, at the end of the day, like I said, it comes down to priority. Do you really, it's a self-esteem issue? Do you really care that much about yourself? Do you look at yourself and say, I'm worth this? I want to be the best I could. I don't want to be mediocre. %75% of people walking around overweight and obese. Is that what you want to be? Are you okay with that? Do you want to fit in with the crowd? Or do you want to be the guy that walks in the room and everybody says, wow, look at that guy? Or do you want to be the guy walking into the room, looking all disheveled, belly hanging over your belt, people making jokes about you, and you fluffing it off like, well, it is what it is, I just have a dad bod. Again, using the kids as an excuse. If I didn't have these kids, I'd be in some shape. I'm telling you. You have no idea what it'd be. Game on if I didn't have these kids, but I have the kids. Well, when you go shopping, are your kids picking the food for you? Are they putting the food in the grocery basket? If you decide to go out to eat, who's ordering? Who's telling the waiter what to bring to the table? Is it the kids? Or is it you? And I tell you right now, if you're that overweight, if you're that sick, you have no business being in a bakery, in a restaurant, in a fast food joint, unless you own the place. And you're coming at the end of the day to collect the money. You have no business being in any of those places. You should be home, learning how to eat, doing some exercise, getting your kids healthy, setting the example for your kids, instilling the values in your kids, teaching them the importance of health, not the importance of material goods. That's what you should be doing. You're the example. The kids are going to do what you do. They're going to do exactly what you do. You look at yourself in the mirror and you really self-evaluate. Do I want my kids to grow up being me? Is that what I want? Is that the fate I want for my kids? Making excuses, being sick, being overweight, being lazy? Gusto Game Bros is in the house. Good morning, Gus. Haven't talked to you in a while. Guys, make sure you check out the Game Bros channel, GFTS, Get Fit, Talk Shit, every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. They just finished up a good one this morning, so pop over on the Game Bros channel and check that out. 7, they are the reason. The kids are the reason. Especially, when you have the kids, they become the reason. They become the number one reason. And if you're a single person and you don't have anybody, you don't have kids relying on you, you don't have family members, and you want to eat yourself to death, that's your prerogative. But if you're going to take the time out to bring kids into the world, well, you better straighten the fuck up. You better straighten up. Because you owe it to those kids. And if you live to be 100, and those kids are 70 years old, 80 years old, they're still your kids. You still have to do for them. You still have to be the example. When you have kids, your life becomes the kids. Because you have to teach them. You have to teach them. Don't rely on other people to teach them. Don't have them around other people where they're gonna try and have other people instill their values in them. It's hard enough on kids growing up. They got to make the right decisions as they grow, especially when they're teenagers. Peer pressure. And it's hard. But if you instill those values in them when they're younger, nothing's 100%. Anything can happen in life. But if you instill those values at a young age and teach them the right way, it's a much better shot that they're going to make better decisions as they get older. That's exactly where I am, Gus. Right, I am actually not too far from Bro Derek. Close proximity right now. So you got to decide, guys, what's your legacy going to be to your kids? Are you gonna spend your time showing them that it's okay to be mediocre, it's okay to grow up sick and overweight, lazy? And instill that in them, and then, because what's that, like they say, when you teach your son, you teach your son's son. Right? When is the cycle going to end? These kids are going to grow up expecting to be overweight, thinking that it's the norm. This is the way I should be. Like I said earlier, well, I'm 40, now I'm 50. I'm supposed to have high blood pressure. My dad was a type 2 diabetic. I'm supposed to be a type 2 diabetic. That's just the way it is. And you deliver these kids to the doctors and the medical system so they can spend their adult lives taking drugs, and actually not even their adult lives, because kids are getting sicker and sicker at a young age now. More and more childhood obesity. Kids are diabetic. Kids have fatty livers. So we're cash cows, and we're turning our kids into cash cows for the medical system, for the medical establishment. And they're not about cures, folks. It has nothing to do with cures. None of it has to do with a cure. Absolutely none of it. Right until you take your last breath, when you're laying in that bed on a ventilator, or you're out of it, completely out of it, they'll keep you breathing. All they want to do is keep you breathing. Because they have a warm body, no matter what condition it's in, they can bill. There's money to be made. He's still breathing? Okay. Bill the insurance company. Bill Medicaid, bill Medicare. Just get money. It's not about quality of life. They don't give a shit about your quality of life. They give a shit that your heart's beating and your lungs are pumping. And the answer isn't, if anybody tells you different, and it's indoctrination is a strong word, but I believe it's true. We're taught that this is the norm now, that we're supposed to be like this. And if somebody comes along and tells you differently, that you're not supposed to live like that they're not out to help you, right away they're branded as some kind of quack, some type of conspiracy theorist. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not a medical professional. What do you know? What I know is what I see. My eyes don't lie to me. I see obesity, I see sickness, I see laziness, I see sloth. It's everywhere. And I've dealt with the medical establishment. It's brutal. It's brutal. It has nothing to do with caring for people. It has nothing to do with curing people. It has nothing to do with getting people healthy. Absolutely nothing. It's about money. And the food companies will just keep shoveling the junk food in your mouth. Actually, they'll just offer it to you and you willingly take it and shovel it in your mouth 15 hours a day, thinking that you're living your best life. And when the shit hits the fan, pharmaceutical companies are right there. Here's our pills. Don't worry about it. What do you mean change the way you eat? Don't you do that. Why would you deprive yourself? Why on earth would you deprive yourself of that? You deserve to live. You deserve to have what you want. When you're fat now, it has nothing to do with what you've been eating. No. It's just your genetics. No way around it, pal. It's genetics. But don't worry, we got something to help you. We're going to take good care of you. Here, take this needle and put it in your ass a couple of times a month. You're going to lose 3 or 4 pounds. Everything's going to be good. We got your back. Don't worry about it, folks. They're laughing at you. They're hysterically laughing at you. They're taking your money. You're taking their drugs. Eating the poison food under the guise of living your best life, and you'll keep doing it. No doubt, Seven. There's no shortage of urgent cares, doctors. They're all over the place. All over the place. Weight loss clinics. Guys are on TRT. Testosterone levels are in the toilet compared to 20, 30 years ago. You got no testosterone in you, but don't you worry about it. Here, we got some pills for you. We got some needles for you. We got some replacement therapy. We're going to take good care of you. How long should I take this for? As long as it takes. Preferably forever. And you don't question it. You don't question it. You won't change your lifestyle. Gee, I'm a guy. I'm supposed to have testosterone in my body. How come I don't have it? Could it be because of my lifestyle choices? Could it possibly be because of lifestyle? Nah, it's your genetics. It's your genetics. We'll fix you up. Pop in every month. We'll give you a shot. You'll be good to go. You're taking insulin. Doctor tells you to lose. You're type 2 diabetic, injecting insulin. Doctor tells you, you better try and lose some weight. I dare you. I dare you to lose weight when you're injecting insulin in your body. It's near impossible. It'll never happen. Never happen. Absolutely, Seven. They're no better, and they're the professionals. They're the professionals. I just told the story. I had a friend of mine on my channel who went to the doctor. He got diagnosed. His A1C came back real high, so he got diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. His doctor is the same age as him, overweight, and also a type 2 diabetic. So you're going to go to this clown who's a type 2 diabetic, and he's going to tell you what to do about diabetes. And his only answer was to give him a prescription for metformin. Nothing else. Nothing else to do with lifestyle changes. And told him, basically, pretty much flat out told him, this is your only option. Start taking pills. So I'm going to go to a type 2 diabetic to tell me how to deal with being a type 2 diabetic. Where's the sense? Madness. It's madness. I'll tell you another quick story, and this is before I sign off here. And this is a true story. I was dealing with a girl who was 282 pounds, and her doctor. She told me that right before she started working out, her doctor suggested that she get bariatric surgery, and she contemplated it. Talked it over with her fiance, or and was this close to getting bariatric surgery. And I just happened to ask her, well, what type of? It turned out it was just a general practitioner doctor. And long story short, it's a female doctor. The girl I was working with is 282 pounds. She said that the doctor, this female doctor that was suggesting that she get bariatric surgery, was bigger than her. So we have a 300-pound doctor telling a 30-year-old morbidly obese woman to go get bariatric surgery. Where's the sense? And nobody questions it. Nobody questions it. All right, guys, I'm just about to where I'm supposed to be. Appreciate you guys listening in, taking the ride with me. Everybody have a good day. Stay safe. Be healthy. Educate yourselves. Do some exercise. And I will talk to you in the next one. Thanks, guys.